Good evening, and thank you for choosing to look at the link for A-Level Biology 2021-22. Mr. Rake and I, the two teachers for A-Level Biology, are looking forward to welcoming you next year, and we're delighted that you're interested in studying biology and following this link. The biology is rewarding, the biology is hard work, and the biology is popular. Over the last few years, the biology subject has been one of the most popular choices, and the results have been excellent over the last few years. Now, I understand that a lot of you have been enjoying your biology at GCSE, and that will put you in a really good position to move to biology A-level. Now, your focus, obviously now between the summer, is your GCSEs, and that what we ask is you get a minimum of a level 6 in your biology component to be able to study biology at A-level. Okay, if overall you get slightly under 6 in some of your other sciences, for example, you may score a 5 in the physics or a 5 in the chemistry, we will still have a look at it, providing that you are scoring well in the biology component. So your focus at the moment has to be doing well in your GCSEs, and the very best of luck to you for that. As far as the subject content is concerned, I'm just going to run through with you very briefly what we look at. I'll put a link on here as well if you're interested in delving a little bit further and having a look at the specification for Year 1 and Year 2 biology. But as you can see over there on the left hand side, there are 8 main topics that we look at over the 2 years. The first 4 of those topics we look at in Year 12, and the second 4 of those topics we look at in Year 13. So when you start in September, you'll be starting on the first 2 topics, which is biological molecules and cells. Now, you'll have 2 teachers for your A-level biology, and what the 2 teachers will do is they will choose half the specification each. So traditionally, I have taught the biological molecules section at the beginning of Year 12, and Mr. Rake has taught cells. Within the biological molecules section, we look at proteins, carbohydrates, fats, ATP, water. It's really setting the foundation of some of these molecules that enable us later on to start making links as to how certain processes, reactions, etc., and how they work. So it's the setting stone at the start to look at the structure of these molecules. And then in cells, you look at the organelles, so exactly what part of the cell is doing what function and how it's adapted to do so. But also in that topic is quite a lot of work to do with immunity as well. Then topics 3 and 4, which we tend to start in the spring and into the summer. We have organisms exchanging substances with their environment is a subject which I traditionally teach, and that's looking at things like gas exchange. We have gas exchange in mammals, in fish. We look at gas exchange in plants and in insects, and we make comparisons between those. And we also look within that topic at circulation and mass transport and moving things around the organism as well. So within there, we will have in the human, for example, we have things like the heart and the circulatory system and how the heart beats. And then with the plants, we look at the xylem and the phloem and mass transport, transpiration, translocation, and how plants move substances around that organism as well. And then topic 4, traditionally taught by Mr. Rake, we have genetic information, variation, and relationships between organisms. Okay, so some work there on variation and relationships. So they're the 4 main topics we teach in Year 12. In Year 13, we look at energy transfers in and between organisms. We look at organisms responding to change in their internal and external environments. There's a big section in Year 13 on genetics, and there's another big section there on gene expression. Okay, so like I said, if you want to download the spec and have a look, please feel free, and you'll be able to see exactly what topics and order we teach in next year. Now, as far as the A-level qualification, it's graded on a 6-point scale, which is A star down to E. What we ask is that we do a test at the end of Year 12 to make sure your suitability to progress to Year 13. If you don't reach that, if you get an E, it could well be the case that we'll try our hardest to help and support and to put some intervention in place to make sure that you do that. Traditionally, everybody gets through. because of the intervention that is put in place. But one of the reasons why we ask for that 6 is it's to put you into a best position possible. Now, as far as the teaching of the subjects, we also teach it via certain assessment objectives as well. AO1, AO2 and AO3. AO1 demonstrates your basic knowledge and understanding of scientific ideas, processes, techniques and procedures. That's basically knowing your stuff, knowing your biology and knowing your content. AO2 is all about the application of that knowledge and understanding of those scientific ideas. For example, you may learn about mass transport in one particular organism, and in an exam you'll be expected to answer a question about another organism, and you use that knowledge and you apply that knowledge and understanding to enable you to answer those questions. And then we have AO3, which is to analyse and interpret and evaluate scientific information, ideas and evidence, including relationships to making judgments and developing your practical designs. Throughout the 2 years, you'll also do some required practicals, and those required practicals, there are 12. You will do 6 in year 12, and you will do 6 of those required practicals in year 13. So how will you be assessed? Well, at the end of the course, you will be sitting 3 papers. Okay. Paper 1 is any content from topics 1 to 4, including the relevant practical skills. So paper 1 essentially is on what you would have studied in year 12 and the required practicals from year 12. It's assessed with a 2-hour exam, 91 marks, and will give you 35% of an A-level. The second paper you sit is basically a year 13 paper. So it's any content from topics 5 to 8. So the topics you would have covered in year 13. Again, it's a 2-hour exam. Again, it's worth 91 marks. And again, it is worth 35% of an A-level. And then you have paper 3 and the final paper. In this paper, the content can come from anywhere within the specification. So any content from topics 1 to 8. This time, it's a 2-hour exam. The marks are slightly less. It's a 30% this time, but as you'll see with the questions on the bottom, there's also an essay style questions in there. The first 2 papers, as you'll see, have 76 marks, a mixture of short and longer answer questions, and 15 marks for extended, whereas in the final paper, there's only 38 marks from structured, 15 on critical analysis, and then 25 marks on an essay. So the third paper is slightly different to the first 2. What can you do now to put you in the best possible position for studying A-level biology with us next year? Well, first of all, just concentrate on your GCSEs. Okay, ultimately, that is your main goal, is to concentrate on your GCSEs, get that level 6, and put you in a really good position. The second thing to do is to talk to us. Okay, if you have Mr. Rake for your biology lessons, if you have me, if you have Miss Dudley, or any other teacher that is teaching you the biology component at year 11, talk to them about the A-level biology, and they will be able to either answer directly or they will be able to put you in touch with one of us who can talk to you about it a little bit more thoroughly. If you want to go a little bit further, there's some suggested reading and research. You can have a look at some of these clips. There's some books out there for the transition period. We traditionally ask people to do this kind of over the summer, but there are resources out there if you need them to help support that transition between GCSE and the A-level biology. So in short, we look forward to speaking to you at some point. Please come and find either Mr. Rake or myself or one of the other teachers to talk about the biology. We can show you the textbooks. We can go through some of the work that our current year 12s and 13s have done, so you can actually see and practice some of the things that they've done. And we'll be looking forward to welcoming you to a very rewarding and enjoyable A-level, should you choose to do so. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.